What is going on, everybody? My name is Barnard, and today I am back here with ilbetting.com, here to look at another sportsbook breakdown, give you the pros and cons of the BetRivers Sportsbook and Casino, as well as take you a little bit through the login process, look at what the deposit and withdrawal process is, and your options for funding and taking out money from your account when you do stack up those victories. So let's dive fully into it. I want to start off by taking a look at the BetRivers user interface and the login process. So let's go to the sign up button. BetRivers has been legal in Illinois since 2020. Here's a look at the initial page that you will jump to when you are on the BetRivers Sportsbook page. This is il.betrivers.com. The first thing that you're going to want to do before you can start jumping in and taking advantage of the awesome offers and opportunities, you're going to have to click the Join Now button in the top right here. There you go through and select your gambling state, Illinois, right here. You create a screen name. It is worth noting that there is a little bit of a social aspect of things. Um, that is not quite the case on other sports books and casino. It is up to you how much that you want to take advantage or not take advantage of it. But there is an aspect of things that what your screen name will be made public, and you can take it, you can get involved, chat with other players, and things like that. It is a kind of a unique aspect. Another area that I like to point out with BetRivers, they do a nice job of combining the brick and mortar casino aspect of things with the online sportsbook and casino. A lot of places have purely focused on just the online sportsbook of making sure the odds are rolled out, the bonuses, all these things that go along with just keeping you online. BetRivers still dances on the other side of the table by having physical locations that you can show up to. They have rewards tied to things. I do want to jump into that in a little more detail later, but they're called iRush rewards or IRR. They are the loyalty level points. So there are things that you can combine and trade those in for prizes and rewards and things like that. So kind of a cool aspect of things that BetRivers does offer. That is the basics here. Basis. Here's a point for the affiliate code. The first sign-in promo code is constantly changing the value and the options for that. That is something to keep in mind. And the best way to do that is by clicking the link in this description to our website at ilbetting.com. That will keep you posted with the best possible offers for the sign-in promo. The best way to keep coat your account with some money and get you set up to jump in and maximize your potential profits. So that is something that I like to point out. Once you do go through those points, you go through the sign up process, that you do have to verify your address, your geolocation. Your geolocation will check on the device that you're registering on, as well as a couple other things, just the basics for signing up, verifying your identity and things like that. But let's jump in. Let's skip past that point and take a look at what the actual BetRivers casino interface looks like. So here's a look once you are logged into the actual app and when things go. The first thing that you're going to want to do once you're at this point is to deposit some money so you can begin taking advantage of the awesome rewards and just wager opportunities that it does provide. So you're going to want to go to the deposit button near the top right, a little bit in off the left of it. You see the bonus and the My Account to the right of it, but you are going to click that deposit button. It goes to the deposit. It does push, the first thing that it does push here is a pay with cash option. Kind of interesting that they do offer it, and a good thing that, to have as an option, giving you a barcode. If you click the locations tab, you have to verify or give access to your location, but it will provide you with some options on the closest way of where you can deposit money into your account through cash. So cool that they offer it, a little bit of outside the box compared to other places, but this still offers the same basic opportunities when it comes to depositing through credit or debit card or PayPal or BetRivers Play Plus or Venmo. The Pay Near Me, which is 7-Eleven, similar option to this cash and barcode option. It does offer all the main bases for depositing into BetRivers. The minimum is $10. The maximum is $500 for a singular deposit. And this is Vanilla Direct that is offering this cash option. So let's say that we go through that process in the best way. We are going to jump back to the sportsbook section and take a look at some of the options that they do have to wager on. They break it down in two different areas now that you can see on the left side of things, that you do see the amount of sports and the available options there, as well as along the top is another way that you can scroll across the top here, and you see it offers everything you want. The live now, props, my bets, specials, MLB, tennis, soccer, WNBA, NCAA football, NFL leaders, NFL, and then breaking it down into some specific teams. We got the Jets, the Giants, the Eagles, FIBA, darts, blackjack, golf, anything you could possibly want. And it breaks down in a similar section on the left, that it will offer those in some specific ways, break them down in a different area. Here are the all sports section. BetRivers is not quite as diverse when it comes to option as some of the other sports books that are available out there, but certainly not far off. That anything of the basic options that you could possibly want, that they do have that, in addition to some more niche sports when it comes to things like snooker or rugby union, rugby league, lacrosse, stuff that is wouldn't necessarily expect to be there. It still does have options. So I don't want to make it seem like it is the bare bones of options for sports gambling, but there is a little bit of a difference in betting compared to some of the other sports. And some of that comes down to the ways that you can bet games. So let's dive into things a little bit. Let's take a look at, for example, jump into the NFL here for the options. So we have NFL games, the week 1 slate coming up. So Chiefs Lions here. If we want to scroll down to the Bears game, let's take a look at what the odds are looking like for that. The odds are pretty competitive across all sports books compared to BetRivers. They aren't behind the pack when it comes to that. And there is, of course, a rivalry game to kick off week 1 with the Bears and Packers. Bears looked at as 2-point favorites in this one, minus 132 on the money line, and the over under at 43.5. One of the cool aspects of BetRivers is see the stats button right here. So rather than purely jumping into what you want to wager or the options for a wager, you can get kind of a deep dive on what to expect. So this breaks it down in a little bit of a unique way, in a way that I have not seen across many sportsbook. And you can click through whatever you want. If you want to dive to standings, obviously still the season has not started, but this is a look at last year's scoreboard, take a look at what else is going on, and then parlay. So it gives you some options if you want to start building things through this option here. This is very cool the way it breaks it down. Look at this, the featured parlays. A $10 parlay pays out 258, so already made for you. And that this one is a pre-made one with the over in the Lions Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders to win, Carolina Panthers to win, and Green Bay Packers to win. You can jump in any of these if they look awesome to you. If this is what you want to jump on, you can do that. But I was more interested in this side of things from the preview aspect. So I'm going to circle back to this. And it did bring us over to the Chiefs and Lions game. Not sure why we hopped away from the Bears there, but this is just a nice way to just get a kind of peek into the statistics without purely diving into it. Now let's dive into it now and take a look at some of the bets. So here's obviously the standards when it comes to the money line, the point spread, and the over under. If you click this button here, the plus 108 bet, so it's all the options that they do have. The point spread, obviously the most common, dives into it right there, -2 and +2. Bears minus 132 on the money line. And then here's where you can kind of dive into some more specific game props. A safety to be recorded at plus 1,300. Interesting there. And there's much more when it comes to same game parlays. You can dive in. Here are some of the pre-made options. If you want to keep it simple, just the total points scored by the Bears, total points scored by the Packers, the exact winning margin. It has just about everything that you could want when it comes to this. And you can scroll through. It's also nice you can move the point spread if you're interested in sort of an alternative spread. Maybe you think the Bears are going to blow them out. You think it's going to be a -10, a 10-point victory by the Bears. So if I want to move the spread all the way over to -9.5, I can do that and get that at plus 230 odds. And to place that wager, you would simply click this. It would come over to the right side of things. And I was clicking through, so let me get rid of some of the parlay options. I don't want these all tied together, but it pops up on the screen here. And you simply go into the wager section, put as much as you want, and then you would just place bet to get it put in place there. So at -8, 9.5, the line moves all the way to plus 230 for the Bears, something that's worth considering there. And I did want to jump back, get back to the thing. Let's go back to the NFL leaders. So maybe we're not interested in just a one game sample size. We just don't want to look at the Bears to win the week 1. We're looking at something to get us involved for the length of the season. So maybe we're against Jordan Love. We know the Packers and Bears rivalry. Jordan Love, the highest odds to lead the NFL in interceptions this year at plus 1,300. That's still very good value for a guy that is number 1 in that. I like that a lot. And, coming from Illinois, being a Bears fan in this situation, I would want to root against Jordan Love on a week-by-week basis. So let's jump into that. Let's click that 1,300 odds. I'm going to wager $10 on that and a potential payout of $140. So that is an awesome option that you can. They do jump into a number of different other options here. The most receiving touchdown, most sacks, most interceptions from a defensive standpoint, most rushing yards. This is an interesting one that I would keep in mind when it comes to the Justin Fields side of things. Plus 3,000, which he is the number 1 quarterback in this list, but still a guy that I think deserves more credit and will be in the running when things are all said and done. I know he's a quarterback, but he is so talented with his legs that this should be kept in mind on. So let's go back to the wager. Maybe I put $5 on this, and 5 to win 155 on a potential payout. That's a pretty hefty price there. So that's something to keep in mind. Another area that probably my favorite part of the BetRivers Sportsbook and Casino is the prop section here. So this is, of course, the MLB. We're in the swing of MLB season. It's starting to run down to the wire. Look at the way that these are set up. And the home run section. So we have Matt Olson, the Braves have obviously been the best team in baseball this year. Matt Olson to hit a home run, plus 110, yes, minus 278, no. Kyle Schwarber, plus 260, yes, minus 360, no. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, all these guys are threats on a night basis, so cool to jump in there. They also offer hits straight up right in front of you with the over 0.5 for Rafael Devers at minus 375 there. Fernando Tatis, minus 375. Or if you think these guys are going to have a bad day, jump on that. Plus 250, plus 255 for no. That they have these for all options. When here's total bases, a lot of the Braves options here. As I mentioned, Braves have been the best team in baseball, so no surprise that these guys are being pushed here. Runs scored, strikeouts. That's a cool way. And as the seasons change, as more sports pop up, this is a cool way to have it right in front of you to visualize the yes or no. And you can spin off and jump into different options that you aren't as tied to this. But this is the easiest way to do it. That we have it for NCAA football midweek, so there isn't an offer for those up right now. MLS, Leo Messi, minus 265 to score. That is nuts, but something that honestly is still probably a worthwhile wager based on how he has been dominating the MLS, things like that. So at least 3 goals, there's an option there, the MLS. And as I mentioned, these will continually rotate throughout the length of whatever season is popular. There will be options put on the table. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to touch on it a little more. The iRush rewards, or IRR, are something that BetRivers makes very unique to themselves and something that I believe is something that you should be considered before jumping on the app. So just a little bit about what the iRush rewards are. This is the BetRivers loyalty reward program. So each time that you bet at the gambling site, you will earn IRR loyalty level points and IRR bonus store bonus points. So the loyalty level points help you to move up the different levels of the loyalty program to qualify for better rewards. As for the IRR bonus store points, you can exchange them for different kinds of rewards and merchandise. However, make sure that you are aware that the points stay with you for 30 days. And after that, they start dropping and being replaced by new points that you earn. So it is a little bit of a limit that you should keep that in mind as you are wagering to make sure that you use those up in a timely fashion. The last couple points that I do want to hit on for BetRivers here. Number one, the streaming live section. For me, this is a very cool option that should be available on the sportsbook of your choice. There's some soccer on right now. If you want to get in on the live betting action, you simply jump on, and you also can watch directly on the BetRivers app. So that is a great option there. You drop a little bit of money, you can tune in, watch the game right from the same app that it is an all-in-one service that they have. And as I mentioned, it is a diverse option. Some of the pros is BetRivers is very competitive when it comes to the wagers of it. They do a very nice job combining both the brick and mortar and the sportsbook casino app of having both the option online as well as in person. That is a side of things that other sportsbooks cannot compete with. Some of the negatives, the customer service is a little shaky. And one of the frustrating parts from my end is they very much advertise 24/7 customer service when that is not truly the case. In reality, they are pretty slow in their response time, and the general waiting time is at least 3 minutes of waiting on the phone and waiting for a response from someone. That's not ideal when it comes to a sportsbook and casino. I understand it's difficult. The geolocation services, as has kind of been the standard and been an issue with a lot of them. BetRivers deals with some similar things. I don't think BetRivers has been nearly as bad as some of the FanDuels and DraftKings, if I'm being honest, with the geolocation services. Personally, I've had much more success with the rapid fire login on BetRivers compared to the others. Some of this is going to have to do with the location that you're in, the cell service. There's a lot of factors that dive into it that I honestly think it shouldn't be as directly tied to the sportsbook as sometimes it gets to. But that is kind of one of the negatives there, that there is still that negative geolocation service and just making the ease of signing up completely fair. Overall, the bonuses are pretty successful, although it is very variable in what is available. As I mentioned, make sure to click the link in the description to this video at ilbetting.com to make sure you're capitalizing on getting the best value there. BetRivers is not constantly offering them in the same way. The second chance bet is a nice thing that they offer of sometimes giving you a second chance at it, just like it sounds, that they will repay a lost bet and allow you to go back in. So that is a nice way, a nice offer that they do make. The payment options has just about everything you need. The sportsbook app itself has about just about everything you need, even though it is not as deep dive and diverse. The main points and really anything that you could possibly want that isn't too far outside the box, BetRivers will cover that. So it does have that with the variety and features there. As I mentioned, the customer support is probably the biggest negative. But overall, BetRivers is a solid casino, sportsbook, and casino that I would recommend using that for those that want to participate, are looking for a little bit of an outside the box direction. I do think that having a screen name, being interactive with that is an interesting angle of their approach. I do think BetRivers is moving in the right direction, that they do have things solidified in the way that they desire as a company. And I think that are trending towards growing and continuing to get better. So BetRivers is a solid app. There have been some negative reviews of it over time, but I think that they are on the right page and moving in the right direction and when it comes to getting things together. So make sure to check that out. click the link in this description. Tune into that full article to get the best offers so you can dive in and have the best possible experience when using BetRivers. But it is something that I think competes with the major companies within the group. I think this is only the start for BetRivers, and I think you guys should get in while you can. Appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.